And good morning and welcome to another edition of Telling It Like It Is. My name's Ralph Williams. My co-host is Leo Haggerty. If you're new to the show, we're here every Saturday morning at 10:30 a.m. We're in the First Line Consulting Services Studios, 1-877-926-6982. Give them a call today for all your website needs and all, and they will not only just build your website, but they will also manage it and upload all your videos for you for one low monthly price. First Line Consulting Services Studios, 1-877-692. I'm sorry, 1-877-926-6982. Putting the cart before the horse, as they say. Leo, welcome to the program. How are you today?
I'm doing fine, Ralph, and I'll tell you what, we got so much craziness happening in sports. We know
Yeah,
what's
we're going to stray
happening.
away. We're going to stray away from general talk today and get into some sports.
Well,
Uh,
the general talk hasn't changed any, has it, Ralph? So
no,
that's
it has not. It's the same stuff. I mean,
exactly.
we got this Israel Gaza war, and we got all this other stuff going on, and now you got certain Congress people that are against the aid for Israel, and it's a big mess. It's
And you got
now,
Coach Tuberville. You got Coach Tuberville putting up a fight with the
yeah, I
military.
know, yeah,
Oh my lord!
yeah, nothing's really changed, uh, except for some stuff locally here, but I deal with that on Monday, so All right, let's get started with some of these college games. I got to tell you what, man. Ohio State versus Rutgers, that's going to be a blowout unless Rutgers really gives them a game. What do you think about this game?
You know what? It's crazy because when the college football playoff committee put together its rankings, they said the best win Michigan had was Rutgers.
Right.
Now, Ralph, I'm a Jersey guy. And it's great
Yeah.
that Rutgers is relevant, but Rutgers, we're going to find out today. Uh, I tell you what, if they can stay close for a half, then we'll see what happens because Ohio State may be taking them lightly, but, you know, uh, Coach Shiano's done a great job getting it up there, but I don't think he's up to that level yet. It'll
Right.
be a great recruiting tool just to stay close. So,
Oh,
yeah, Ohio
absolutely.
State wins.
Okay. How about Kansas State versus Texas? I'm taking Texas on this one. I like Kansas State, but Texas I'm taking.
Oh, me too. Yeah, you know
Yeah.
why? It's in Austin. Tough place to win.
Tough place to win. Plus, I love Steve Sarkisian. I think he's a great coach, and so all right. Next, Texas A&M versus Mrs. Ole Miss. I'm taking Ole Miss in this. Texas A&M. I don't know about Jimbo Fisher's future there. What do you think?
Well, you got a choice between Jimbo Fisher and Lane Kiffin. I
And Lane
mean,
Kiffin, yeah,
yeah, I, again, I'm going with the home team. I like Mississippi.
yep. Here's a blowout in itself. You ready for this? This is like taking on a state prison. Connecticut versus Tennessee.
The only time Tennessee won't score is during the national anthem,
Anthem, yeah, there you go.
and they may try a field goal at the end. So, I wouldn't be, I wouldn't be surprised to see this in the '60s.
Yeah, UConn is coached by Jim Mora Jr. He used to coach UCLA. Jim Mora's son. Remember him?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's who Connecticut's
playoffs,
coach is.
playoffs. Wait,
Yeah,
no,
I know. Yeah, even
that's
Peter
Papa.
Blake. I like when Peter Blake and Tampa Bay Ray do that. They go playoffs, playoffs. Now I know where they got that from. There you
Yep.
go. All
Yeah.
right. Number 12, Notre Dame versus Clemson. Now let's talk about this stuff with Dabu Sweeney going off on his rocker and all that stuff. What do you think about that?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna start with why is the media hammering Dabo simply because he refuses to use the portal and shows loyalty to his players? You know what? Look what Colorado did. Look what Florida State did. Ralph, the term student athlete now is a misnomer. It doesn't exist. You
Right.
go out to the highest bidder. And, you
Exactly.
know, when Florida State brings in 20 in the portal, guess what? 20 guys got to get cut off that roster. There's a way to stop this, and that's to go back to 4-year scholarships. Now
Yes.
they're 1-year renewable. So if the coach doesn't like you, whatever, hey, he takes your scholarship, which I
Yes.
don't think is right. But
No.
Dabo went off the rails with that kid, and I'll tell you what, I he's getting all the good luck he had in the first 12 years. He's getting all the bad luck now. I mean, I've never seen so many pick six, scoop six, and fumbles inside the 5 yard line going in one. Forget that in 1 year, probably in 5 years. So yeah, and they got Notre Dame today. I think what Dabo did in the back of his mind is he said, I need to fire my guys up. And guess what? I think that caller, Tyler from Spartanburg, you never question a coach's salary. You never do that. And you know
Right.
what? Dabo just threw it back at him and said, hey, we've got 2 national championships. There's only 2 other people that has that, Georgia and Alabama.
In
I'll put us
Alabama.
up in that category. And I got to agree with Kirk Herbstreit, though. What's the major difference between Clemson now and Clemson before the COVID hit? Their wide receivers. They're
Right.
not getting the number of wide receivers that they have gotten in the past. They've got to step up on that level. That's for sure.
Well, Clemson's always had good offensive athletes, running backs, quarterbacks, wide receivers. I guess it's pop. Well, there's not enough to go around, as they say. There's a pie they made, but you don't get a piece. You see what I'm saying? And that's probably where Clemson's at right now, down in that area.
Well,
You know,
you know what, Ralph, and I want to go back to when Pitt lost their wide receiver to USC, and
Jordan Addison. Yeah,
yeah, and I can remember Coach Narduzzi they bought him. They flat out bought him. And
yeah,
everybody thought, oh, that's sour grapes. No, that's what's happening. And I'll tell you what, the NFL's a problem with this too.
yes.
All the We got a real problem down here at the end of the season with Byron Brown. He's a redshirt freshman. He's got
Okay,
3 more years. And I'm going to go back to Mordecai out of SMU. He transferred to Wisconsin. They asked him, why'd you leave SMU? And he said, the NFL scouts told me they wanted to see me play against better competition. Well, gee, all the non-power 5 schools now is the minor leagues for the
for
power
the
4,
Power
power
Five.
5, whatever you want
Yeah.
to call them. And I got a feeling Byron Brown is going to go into the portal just to see. I mean, he's very happy at South Florida, but it was a choice between South Florida and Alabama, South
Right.
Florida and Wisconsin, South Florida and Penn State. Guess what? They're losing that battle. And it's a shame because the coaching staff at South Florida or the coaching staff at SMU, they put their heart and soul into getting Mordecai and Brown ready. And now all they did was prep them for the next level. And the
Level.
NFL coaches need to stop. Just say, hey, look, here's stay where you're at, be the best be you can be. And God forbid an NFL team would have to coach a kid up. Wow. There's a novel thought, isn't there, Ralph?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on here with the NCAA football that needs to be fixed. And what I'm saying is the 4 years, like you said. I also think that you shouldn't let the NFL scouts run roughshod if this is what they're doing. The NCAA is going to start cracking down on some of this stuff, and they don't because they don't care. They act like they care, but they don't care, and it's boiled down to what I've said many times in this country. Nobody cares about anything, and it's really sad. There's a lot of people out here that just simply don't care. When it comes to money, it's really bad. All right, we're brought to
You
you
know,
today
Ralph, real
by.
quick,
Go
real
ahead.
real quick. Let me follow up on that. There's 2 things with the NCAA.
Uh huh.
They want everybody else to do the dirty work for them. They want Congress to come in and pass laws for them and say, okay, this is the portal, this is the
Portal.
NIL. That's not
Right.
going to happen.
No.
Second thing, mark
No.
my words, Ralph. I said it first on your show.
Yes.
The
Yes.
NCAA, the NCAA will no longer exist for college football in 2 years. The Power Four, which is going to
Hmm.
figure out real quick. We don't need them to make our own TV deals. So the NCAA right now is the sick man. They're like the Ottoman Empire right after World War One. They're the sick man of Europe. They need to be put out of their misery
Yes.
because they
Yes.
are worthless. They can't do anything. And Ralph, let's just segue over to the college football playoff real quick.
Okay.
I
Go
want
ahead.
because I give Reese Davis a whole lot of credit. He asked Boo Corrigan, the
Okay.
commissioner of the college football playoff selection committee, the chairman. He said, "Are you looking at Michigan with all the allegations of illegal recruiting?" And he said, no, we just look at what's happening on the field. Hey, Boo, wake up, pal. That's what affects the field.
Yes.
Are you
Yes.
listening? No, you're not. And that is amazing. And then they rank the teams. Michigan's best win is Rutgers. And I'll tell you what, am I lobbying to be on that committee? Hell yes. I should be on that committee because it'd be real simple. Here's what I would do. When I'm ranking teams, I'm only ranking undefeated teams in the Power Five to start. Right?
Right.
They're my criteria. Hey, I love Air Force. I love Liberty. I love um, James Madison. But you know what? You're not in that level yet.
No. No, not at all. Not at
And
all.
then I'm looking at one thing first. Who's your best wins? Who have you
Right.
beaten? That's the best team. And you know what? I'd have Florida State first right now. They not only beat LSU, they destroyed them. I'd have
Yes.
LSU first, right? Real simple. I'd have Washington second because, or no, I'd have Ohio State second, right? They beat
Right.
Notre Dame, they beat Penn State, okay, and I'd have
Right.
Washington third. They beat Oregon. I'd
Georgia
have
fourth.
Georgia fourth. And they
Right.
go, wait a second, you got Georgia fourth? They said, yeah, their best win is Kentucky. And you know what? That only matters if you're playing on the hardwood and it's 5-on-5. Doesn't matter. That's not Kentucky's sport.
Yeah.
Then,
No. No. Kentucky.
and,
Excuse me.
and then I
Kentucky is
would have
basketball
Oregon.
school.
And when I get to the one loss teams, the first
Uh-huh.
thing I immediately throw out is if you lost a home game. Alabama, you're out. You lost to Texas. If you
Right.
lose a home game, you go to the back of the one loss line, all the way to the back. And Oregon's got the best loss. In fact, they lost to Washington in the last minute. So, yeah, the college football players, again, they're looking at money. That's all they care about. And you know what, Ralph? Next year,
Okay.
when they go to the 12-team playoff and there's 11 games. Now, this year, it's estimated that with 3 games, one plays four, two plays three, then the championship.
Right.
They are estimating that the NCAA will make $500 million. That's a B, folks, $1 billion.
$1 billion. Yeah.
When they go to 11 games, they
Okay.
are estimating in excess of $2 billion and probably closer to 2.5, maybe higher. Now, Ralph, if that happens, you cannot, you cannot say we can't play the players. That
Right.
that that is just. And what's going to happen, Ralph, is some lawyer is going to get together and create the College Football Players Union, and they're going to say, okay, you're going to have to pay us just to play, and that's a.
Yeah. That's going to happen next. Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah. I agree
happening.
with you on that, Leo. Yes, that's going to happen. That's going to be the case. Okay. We're brought to you today by RW Media and Amped Up Sports. So, where Leo, he is, that's his company, Amped Up Sports. And it's great to have them sponsor this program and also sponsor my other program, Sports Corner radio show, which is going 2 hours in January. And also, we're going to have, and they also sponsor my Wrestle Talk show as well on Thursdays on Blog Talk Radio. I want to talk to you today about you ought to call Mata. Call Mata Heating and Air Conditioning at 724-201-0500. Ask for Bill. Mata Heating and Air Conditioning has geothermal furnaces, radiant floors, humidifiers, service contracts, heat pumps, air conditioners, and UV lighting, and much more. Give them a call today. Call the professionals at Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. And that number again is 724-201-0500. Check their website out at Mata Heating and Air Conditioning.com. All right. I want to talk to you today about P6 Auto Detailing in New Kensington. Give P6 Auto Detailing a call today, 412-965-6578. Let the professionals that know a lot about detailing and let them detail your car. Nothing but professional detailing at P6 Auto Detailing, 412-965-6578. P6 Auto Detailing. Are you handicapped? Are you in a wheelchair like I am? Well, you know what? Are you disabled? Well, get and have felt down because you need a power chair that folds and you can't find one. Well, guess what? I have the solution for you, and I can make your life a whole lot better. Why? You need to call Fold and Travel Mobility. Call them today, Fold and Travel Mobility. That number's 1877 got fold. They have the best selection of folding power wheelchairs that you can put in the trunk of your car, you can put in your vehicle. And let me tell you, it'll make your life a whole lot simpler. You don't have to go to the store and look for a scooter. You can't find one. Or you can't go to the amusement park and they want to charge you $40. No, forget that. Call today. That number 1877 got fold, GOTFOLD, or get on their website at foldandtravelmobility.com. Fold and Travel Mobility if you need a folding power chair. All right, Leo got done paying a few bills here. Let's get back to. I'm sorry, Leo.
Yeah. Uh, let's talk World Series real quick, Ralph. Okay.
Oh yeah, excuse me for a moment.
Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. Texas took it in five. Uh, Everyone kept saying, "Well, Texas is going to take it in four," and I said, "No, it's going to be a dogfight." I was wrong. I thought it was going to go to seven. It was going to be a big time dogfight, but it was a massacre. Texas just too much for Arizona, but I give kudos to Arizona because at least they tried. Okay,
Yeah.
and at least they were a team that is, I'd say, small market a little bit here, and they were able to get into the World Series. And I don't want to hear no more excuses about from the Pirates owner about how you can't get into the World Series with a small market budget team. Leo?
Yeah. And again, both of them were sixth ranked. They
Yes.
were the number six teams in both. Here's the amazing thing, Ralph. And I don't think anybody's caught on to this yet. Texas was 11-0 on the road in the playoffs. They didn't lose a road game. That's phenomenal. Yeah, you can win two, you can win three, but 11? Wow. Against what was going on. The fact they went into Philly and won game 6 and 7, that was the crowning touch. And that's when I said, okay, Texas is for real.
Yes.
They're for real.
Yes. Yes. Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think next year they're probably going to be even better. At least Bruce Bochy's going to stay. And Dusty Baker stepped away from Houston. Houston got to look for a manager now. Cleveland's still trying to find one, I think. You got a few managerial jobs out there. Uh, I know Don Kelly, the bench coach for the Pirates, was one of the candidates for the Guardians job. He turned it down. I think he's going to stay in Pittsburgh as our bench coach. So, what people who's out there that you think? I heard the LA Angels need one too. So a manager. So what? And New York Mets. Buck Showalter got fired. San Francisco, I believe. So what do you think of this?
I would take a long, hard look at Joe Madden because,
I like Joe Madden.
yeah,
I
he
I
won
like
in
Joe Madden.
Tampa. He won in
Yes,
Tampa when they were cash strapped. He did win a World Series with the Cubs. Hey, think about that. He won a
you or
World
I could
Series
have
with
won
the
a World
Cubs.
Series with the Cubs with them
Yeah,
players.
yeah, that's amazing. But
Right.
when you look at what's going on now, I think Joe Madden is a great fit for a lot of teams. Boy, think of what he'd be like down in Houston with that lineup and that pitching staff. That's the thing. I asked Joe one time. This is a great question, Ralph. I said, Joe, how much of the game is pitching? He said 90%. So me being the good journalist, Ralph, I followed him and said, well, Joe, what's the other 10%? You know what he said? Pitching.
What's that?
Pitching. They
Wow.
should they should change the game to pitch ball. And look at what the Tampa Bay Rays have done. Pitching and defense. That's what they are. That takes you a lot of places because you know what? When you shake that tree, not a lot of arms fall out. And you know
No,
what?
not at all. Yeah.
Yeah, and good pitching stops good hitting, and great pitching stops great hitting. You know, and
Well,
that's
I wanted
that.
I wanted the Pirates to hire him. He was available. They hired Derek Shelton instead. Joe Madden was in between teams. And I said, "Why don't you hire Joe Madden?" Everybody went, "Oh, Ralph, you don't know what you're talking about. He's too old." Oh, come on. This guy has won everywhere he's gone. And he had a nothing of a team in Tampa and he took them where they are. He was in Anaheim or LA or whatever they call the Angels these days.
Mhm.
So he was in Chicago. So he's been around and he's a really good manager. And I just wish that more people would give him a little more credit. Oh, he's too old.
Well,
I
wait,
don't want
wait.
to hear that.
What are you saying about Bruce Bochy then?
Yeah, exactly. Well, how
Yeah,
about Buck Showalter? How
yeah,
about I hear now Don Mattingly's coming out of retirement or something. They must one of these teams want to talk to him. I mean, but anyway, that's what I'm hearing right now. So we'll see what happens as it goes along in Major League Baseball. How about the NFL, Leo? You want to Steelers
yeah.
play?
Your Pirates got away with one the other night.
Yeah,
Excuse me, your Steelers.
Steelers.
I'll
Yeah,
tell you what. I I can't understand, and I have no idea what pass interference is. And on the third and eight play that Johnson caught down the sideline, he reaches out and hits the defensive back right in the helmet, knocks him down. No call. And again,
right,
it looks like the WWE out there with the ball in the air. There's more contact there than there is on an offensive and defensive line. The fact that they're allowing this to happen in the NFL and college football, people are getting held every single play, every single play. It's just and the referees, yeah, I know you can't call it, but you got to start doing something because
right,
if these guys just don't, I mean, you look, guy comes out of a break and he's being grabbed. You look at the ball in the air and the guy's got his arms around the receiver, and there's no
right.
call. I mean, and Mike Evans is the best with that bar arm. He just puts
Yeah,
that arm out and creates space. Again, they got to do something because it's like, what is happening here? I'll tell you one thing they need to change in the NFL, Ralph. They need
what's
to
that?
change that pass interference rule from spot foul at 15 yards or 10 yards because that all Brady would do, and if you ever watch the film, if they needed a long first down, he would run
Uh huh.
Gronkowski down the sideline, just throw it straight up in the air because they figured somebody's going to tackle him,
Right,
and that's what would
right.
happen, 80% of the time. But you know what, Ralph? I'm going to pat myself on the back real quick. I'm 21-3 so far in the NFL with my Leo's losers.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's good to hear that. Hey, by the way, Leo, I want your honest opinion on this, okay? And I've been arguing with people in the national level all this week, okay,
Okay.
including Peter Blake. If Byron Leftwich was to become our offensive coordinator, would you accept? Do you think Mike Tomlin would hire Byron Leftwich to be the off? And is he a competent offensive coordinator? You had him down in Tampa, Leo. You covered him. What is Byron Leftwich capable of?
Well, now that he doesn't have Tom Brady creating plays for him, yeah,
Yeah.
he'd be good. I
And I
mean,
said that to everybody. And I said that to Peter on Wednesday when he asked me that question because there were rumors that Byron Leftwich possibly at the end of the season will be replacing Matt Canada. And that could happen. Okay. And I want to see that happen. What I want to see is the Steelers to stop putting all their money and their coaching into defense and start doing some offensive stuff. Like here's my thing. Hire Byron Leftwich to be the offensive coordinator. Hire Mark Whipple to be an offensive assistant or a assistant quarterbacks coach. You do have assistants to the assistants. Okay. Why don't
yeah,
you do something like that? Because Mark Whipple coached Kenny Pickett at Pitt. And when he coached Kenny Pickett at Pitt, and with Whipple's offensive mind, can also maybe help Byron Leftwich and get this offense rolling. I think those two hires right there would help the offense for the Steelers because I even told Peter I think Byron Leftwich would have been a better offensive coordinator down in Tampa if Tom Brady wasn't in the way. He agreed. I think he sort of agreed with me on that.
yeah. I don't doubt it. I mean, the problem was, and Brady didn't like this, is that basically Bruce Arians would nix. No, Tom, we're not doing that. We're doing it my way. And
Right.
and Tom
Yeah.
Tom wasn't happy about that. You
Right.
know, he thought he was going to get the lay of the land and the keys to the kingdom, and that didn't help. That wasn't
Right.
it.
No, it did
I
not
had
help. It
no
made Tampa a bad team, and
and,
and
and
and I won't.
I had no problem with Brian Leftwich as an offensive coordinator, and here's why: you are definitely strapped with Brady in the pocket
Right.
because he has absolutely zero mobility at his age. So you got to get the ball out fast. You got to get linemen that can protect. And everybody's saying, well, all the Bucks have is pass blockers. Well, guess what? They had to have pass blockers
Pass
because they had to
blockers. Right.
protect Brady because couldn't create anything. And right now, Baker Mayfield's getting a raw deal because
Mm,
he's trying to avoid rush. He's trying to. I mean, he makes at least one or two escape plays every game that you go, boy, that's Houdini. That's amazing. So yeah, I think we're seeing some things happen. But you know what, Ralph? I could care less about that game. Here's why. It's Cowboys week for Eagles fans, baby.
oh,
Cowboys week.
that's the game, man. The Cowboys and the
Absolutely.
Eagles. Oh, that's going to be a dogfight. Oh, big time.
Oh, I tell
Yes.
you what, my old
Yeah, that's
classmates from up in New Jersey, they've already started posting, you know, uh, pictures of Eagles and Cowboys and going
I,
down and all that. And I can, hey, I agree with the
sorry.
dog. It's a
Sorry,
rough
Leo. That's
call.
my little dog barking. Hey.
It's a
So
rough call.
he agrees with you, Leo. That's the whole thing.
I can tell. I
Yeah.
can tell. All
So
right.
anyway, yeah, but that's why I wanted to ask you that question. My second question to you is, how is Cansey and Selassie Dennis doing down there in Tampa?
I think is still banged up. He's
Wow,
getting some snaps now, but
it's
they're
slow.
basically situation players right now. But that
Okay,
doesn't mean that's going to change. That's for sure.
right, right. All right, we lost Leo's face there, but that's
Oh,
all right. As long as he can hear me, we're fine.
yeah, I don't know where I went
So
to. Hold on, Ralph. I'll figure this out.
yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about it as long as they can hear
There
your
we
voice.
go. There
There
we
you
go.
go. Yeah. So the reason I'm asking is because I followed their whole careers at Pitt, and I wanted to know how they were doing down there. So
Yeah. They,
so
they're rookies. They're learning on the fly, which is good. But and they've been banged up a little bit, and that never helps.
right.
Your best capability is your availability. That's the key.
Yeah, Peter was saying something about Matt Filer. Filer used to play for the Steelers. He was a decent offensive lineman when he was here. Then he went to a couple other teams and he stunk up the joint a little bit. What's going on with him?
He's still banged up.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's out for this week too, and
Oh
Stinney's back
wow.
in at guard.
Oh wow. Okay, that's great. All right, Leo. Let's talk some more about some more NFL if you want to. Tomorrow morning's London game or whatever it's called, Dolphins versus the Chiefs. What a game to have. Uh, Chiefs got beat by Denver, and we'll see what the Dolphins are made of. What do you think is where do you think this game's going to go?
First one to 40 wins, Ralph. It's going to be a lot of
that's
points
that's
go
going to
up.
be an offensive good thing there. Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be a slugfest. And now it's coming out that Patrick Mahomes had the flu, and
Oh, okay. Yeah.
it's well, I, I wouldn't. Well, I'll tell you what, that's tough because Miami needs to win to stay ahead of Buffalo,
Right.
and Kansas City needs to stop the bleeding.
Yeah,
And
they do. They
I,
really do.
I
Yeah.
it, and they're playing in a neutral site. That's interesting. I'm wondering who gave up the home game here. I think it was the Chiefs, which I never give up Arrowhead. That's just me.
No, I would never give up. The fans at Arrowhead like that. Oh man, I would never give that up.
Yeah. Hey, Ralph, has the
Wow.
Steelers played over there yet?
No, they have not.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think they'll ever play over there with a as a home game. That's for sure. I mean, that's
Yeah.
yeah. You can't
Yeah.
afford to give that up. I mean,
If it
Buffalo
was
had to
in
give up home
Ireland,
games.
if it was in Ireland, I think they would play it because I think the late Dan Rooney, he was the ambassador to Ireland for President Obama,
Oh
and
yeah.
I think if we played in Ireland, we would be really perceived over there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So, but I
They,
don't
they
know about our fan base, in a foreign nature. I don't know. You know what I
Well, if you
mean?
go to
In
Ireland, the fan
foreign
base would be
countries.
there because you had the Guinness.
Yeah, and Guinness too. Yes, exactly, exactly. Okay, Vikings versus Falcons. Vikings are sort of they're 50-50. Atlanta, Desmond Ritter's been struggling. What do you think's going to happen here?
Well, you know what? The Vikings are trying to do it with a quarterback now that Cousins is out for the season. They
Yeah,
I,
they're
if
having
Atlanta
quarterback
turn
problems.
if
Yeah,
Atlanta turns around, and for what I understand, Desmond Ritter isn't playing, so they're both going with
right.
backups. So I like Atlanta only because they're going to turn around and give it to Bijan, and that's a tough stop right there.
Yeah. Atlanta should have never got rid of Marcus Mariota because if Desmond Ritter struggles, you need a quality backup. Marcus Mariota is a quality backup. So I mean, and or maybe they should have tried to get Jamison Winston or something in here. Atlanta has to do something. I think Arthur Smith is on eggshells this year. I think if he loses this year, I think he's going to get fired. I pointed out a few coaches. I didn't expect the McDaniel firing, but I knew it was coming sooner or later. But I thought they'd wait till the end of the season. And what's your thoughts on Josh? I call him Josh McDonough because he's so stupid as a head coach. It's unbelievable. What's your thoughts on this firing?
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and if it's
Don't fix
broke,
it.
fix it. And if
Right.
that was the problem, but again, we're looking at an organization that had Rich Bisaccia come in after the Gruden debacle and got him to the playoffs, and they didn't even give him the job. I
I
mean,
remember Pasacek. Yeah, I do
yeah,
remember him.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Bisaccia gets there, and they fired the general manager too. And I didn't understand that because you got rid of Gruden. The place was in disarray. It was crazy. And Bisaccia righted the ship and got you to the playoffs. And
Yeah,
they
exactly.
were one play away from beating Cincinnati in the
Right.
playoffs. Right. Yeah, it
Right.
was. I, I. My problem is okay. If you're going to fire somebody, what are you doing? Are you putting them in interim, and then that's what I would do? Okay, it's an interim coach, and
Right.
then I just go out and find somebody afterwards. I'll start looking now, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Okay. The Bucks are playing the Texans. Uh, D'Amico Ryans has a win against the Steelers. He has a win against one other team. What's your thoughts on this game? I think this is going to be a dogfight because the Texans they come to play every game with D'Amico Ryans down there.
Yeah, they beaten Pittsburgh and they beat Jacksonville, so
Yeah.
yeah, they've beaten two good teams. Uh, I think it's going to be a dogfight, but I also think that the Bucks are going to find a way to win because you got Evans and you got Godwin. Man, that's a tough matchup for any team because if you take away one, the other is just as dangerous. Absolutely. So I look for the Bucks to win. So and they're at, like I think they're a 2.5 point dog or something like that on the road. So
Yeah.
yeah, crazy.
Seahawks versus the Ravens.
Well, I'll tell you what. Don't go to sleep on the Seahawks.
No.
They are starting to
No.
put things together for sure, and that's the toughest place to play in the NFL. I went out there, Ralph, and we're going to try to go out there in December again, but none of the fans sit down, and I couldn't figure out why the sound just reverberated there. And then I saw the stadium. The roof hangs out so far that when the sound goes up, it bounces off the roof and comes back down. It is the loud.
Oh, okay.
It is so loud.
Right. All right. Let's see. Patriots Commanders. Here's two teams that are kind of like again 50-50. What do you think?
I think the Commanders, just because the Patriots, they just can't find a way to win right
I
now.
like Sam Howell. It's too bad that but and I think Eric Bieniemy's not a bad offensive coordinator. Although my co-host Smoking Jim Frazier thinks he's a bum, but that's beside
Well,
the point.
tell Smoking Joe that's the next head coach down in Washington because I think Ron Rivera is gone, and that's usually what happens to a head coach when new ownership comes in because you're not their guy.
All right, next Packers and Rams. I take the Rams in this game. Packers are in disarray. They don't know what they're doing. Matt LaFleur's been exposed. He doesn't have Aaron Rodgers there this year. Yeah, I think he just doesn't know what to do. I'm not sure up there. So what do you think of this?
I don't think they are either. The only thing they got going is it's in a Lambo, and the
Yeah,
Rams are going in. It may be. Hey, you could have snow. You could have 70 degrees. You never know what you're going to get in Green
yeah,
Bay. But and Stafford's a little banged up still. Green Bay's defense isn't bad.
right.
So if they run the football, and boy, see that's the hardest thing right now, is to convince somebody to run the football, because it's just what smarts does it take to run the football? Well, the smarts is that you're moving the chains and the defense is off the field. I think
Right.
Green Bay wins, but I think it's close, Ralph.
All right. Next, let's see here. We already did the Chiefs, Dolphins, Cardinals, and Browns at Cleveland. Oh my gosh. You know what, Leo? I'm sorry. I hate to do this. I don't like Cleveland, but I don't know about the Cardinals. Then again, who knows? Anything could happen. I
Yeah,
think Kyler Murray's going to start this week. I think.
yeah. Well, that would be nice if he comes back. But it looks like Deshaun Watson's going to start for Cleveland. So I got to take Cleveland at home. That's just a tough
I,
place to
I I hate to do that, man. I want to see all the teams in our division lose, but and us win. But that's beside the point.
I know.
Colts and Panthers, two of the new coaches this year. Well, I mean Frank Reich's not new, but I'm talking about head coaches and Shane Steichen with the Colts. What do you think of this game? I think in the well, it's in Carolina, so who knows? But
Uh,
what do you think?
yeah, Jonathan Taylor's starting to round into shape. So I'm picking the Colts because
Yeah,
they're going to
so
run
am
the ball
I.
better.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in Carolina. He's got a good coaching staff down there. You got Frank Reich, you got Vic Fangio as your defensive coordinator. I don't understand why they're not winning games. I
Well,
don't
they,
know.
they got they got a rookie quarterback, and
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
and when people say well he should win, I said, does anybody know how many games Peyton Manning won as a rookie? One,
one. Yeah,
one
I
game,
remember that. Yep.
one
Yeah,
game. So you know what?
one game.
Do not judge the book until you're full through and you're shutting it. Don't judge it when you're only through 10 chapters and there's 30 to go.
Leo, can you stay for a few minutes so we can go over the rest of these
Sure.
team
Yeah.
things? Okay,
Okay.
I wasn't sure what your schedule was with South Florida today or whatever.
No,
So,
they're away, so we're good.
oh, okay, good, good. All right. Let's see here. Cowboys, Eagles. We know that's going to be a dogfight.
Oh, fly, Eagles, fly.
Yes. Yeah, I like the Eagles too. I'm not a doubt. I've never been the only person that I like in Dallas is their head coach, and that's because he's from Pittsburgh. His parents still live here. He's from the Greenfield section of the city of Pittsburgh, and
Oh,
yeah, his parents still live here. Mike McCarthy. All right, Giants and Raiders. Giants, they haven't done anything, and the Raiders. Well, the first game for the new or the new interim coach.
yeah. Giants by default.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Bills and Bengals. This ought to be a
Oh,
good game.
well, and this is Damar Hamlin's return to Cincinnati.
Yes,
Oh,
it is. Yes,
be
it
a
is. Yeah.
lot of emotion there on both sides of the football. I, uh,
Okay.
I
Chargers. Chargers versus the Jets.
people gonna laugh at me on this one. The Chargers big, like by 2 touchdowns at least.
You think so?
Oh yeah, at least 2 touchdowns, because
Uh,
right now that Charger offense is starting to. You never want to pick the Chargers in September. They come up with more innovative ways to lose games than anybody.
and in the playoffs,
Yeah.
because Brandon Staley just horrible. Some of the
Oh.
some of the
Yeah.
decisions he's made, and I heard management's not happy down there with that either. So I mean,
Oh yeah.
but
He's got to get back to the playoffs and he's got to win a game. Absolutely.
oh yeah. All right, let's talk about. I think we pretty much covered all the ones that I can see here. Yeah, we covered some ones that I can see here. So, all right, Leo. Any final thoughts?
Well, just hey, sit tight, enjoy football this weekend and next weekend, because hey, we're in November, folks, and now it's put up or shut up time. And there's some great games tonight. Washington USC at 7:30. I
Yeah,
mean, that's
that's going to be a
great.
good game, and I'm
Great.
doing a pit post game show with my co-host Smoking Jim Frazier later on. So I'll be
Oh, well,
doing it.
good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
for
Ralph,
Pitt.
until
So
next week, and let's see what craziness the college football playoff selection committee does. And hey, folks, start emailing them and tell them Leo Haggerty needs to be on that committee.
I will. I'll do that myself. Oh, by the way, Leo, what's your thoughts on Colorado tonight? They play. I think they play Oregon State.
Not looking good for Coach Prime. He's
Yeah.
got he's got Oregon State, and then he's got Arizona. And Arizona may be playing the best of any team in the Pac-12 right now. And again, at the beginning of the season, I said, is he going to be 1-11? No. Is he going to be 11-1? No. I said somewhere in between. I had him at 4 to 5 wins, maybe 6 if he's lucky. And he's got to get lucky to get to 6. That's for sure. Because basically, he's finding out what the NCAA football schedule is. He's running out of bodies because he doesn't have that depth.
All right. I want to congratulate Boston College. They are now bowl eligible. They're 6-3. They beat Syracuse last night 17-10. Both teams, I got this finally for the first time watch Dino Tomlin, Mike Tomlin's son, who plays on Boston College as a wide receiver. I finally got to see him in action. So, he caught a couple passes, at least from what I saw,
Yeah.
so,
And that
but
quarterback
anyway,
for BC, Castellanos, he is about as elusive as I've seen a guy.
yeah, I know. We'll see what Pitt does tonight against Florida State. I don't see anything with this Pitt team the rest of the season. I think they're going to lose all the rest of their games. They might beat Syracuse. Syracuse is 4-5. They have
Where's that game tonight, Ralph? Is it in Pittsburgh or is it in
it's
Tallahassee?
here at Acrisure Stadium. It's sold out, and we got
Ah,
people all over town.
what's
So
the weather look like up there?
it's nice, 60 degrees, and
Ah,
so
it needs
yeah.
to be in the 40s so Florida State can start putting on 16 sweatshirts and that and think it's cold.
No, it needs to be in the 30s with some snow so that they don't know how to handle themselves. You know what I
Correct.
mean?
Correct. Yeah.
But Pitt don't know how to handle themselves. You got Pat Narduzzi making ridiculous comments about his team, throwing his assistants under the bus. Heather Lyke, the athletic director, made him apologize on Monday at his press conference to his players, to the media, for his behavior after last week's game, or that last week's game and a few other games. Paul says, Leo, he's enjoying the show. Dugan or Alvarado? Oh, I know what he's talking about. I understand. We have an election coming up on Tuesday, so I know what he's talking about. So, Paul, I'm not taking Dugan. I'm taking Zapala, and I'm also not taking Alvarado. I am taking Joe Rocky. I'm tired of these progressive Democrats ruining our city, and we have a progressive mayor who's now changing things around with the police department, and it's looking like he's trying to defund the police, and I hope it doesn't happen.
Well, you know
But
what, Ralph? I'm from the WC fields of voting. You don't vote for, you vote against.
yeah, there you go. Or Brewster's Millions. Remember Brewster's Millions? None of the above.
Right. Absolutely. All right, Ralph. I will talk to you next week.
I'll be here. Have a great one, Leo. It was great seeing you on Liberty Bell Smack on Thursday. That was a great show there. I always watch that show when they're live. So, it was great to see you on there as well. Check out Leo on Liberty Bell Smack on Facebook. All
Take
right.
care.
Paul says you're right on, Leo. Have a great one.
You too.
All right. Thank you. That was my co-host, Leo Haggerty. We're here every Saturday morning, 10:30 in the morning. It's called Telling It Like It Is. We usually do a 15 minutes of general talk, and then we do sports. But we had so much to talk about in sports that we did all sports today, and it was a good show because we had really a lot to talk about as far as national sports scene goes. And I want to thank Paul for tuning in as well and his comments. All right, Draft 412. I'm here today to talk to you about Draft 412. Draft 412 is a e-magazine that you can get on their website, draft412.com. You can also subscribe at $9 a month, and it will send it directly to your inbox. And what that means is that you will get all of the stuff that you might not see on the website. It's special at $9 a month. You can't beat the price. All right. Draft412.com, subscribe, and you'll see the little boxes on there that tell you how to get on for $9 a month. And they'll send you in the e-box. They break the skinny down on drafts, on players that should be drafted, and what rounds, and everything else as well. We're in the First Line Consulting Services studio, 1-877-926-6982. I want to talk to you today about Sleep Pittsburgh. 412-462-7858. Sleep Pittsburgh. Let me tell you something about them. I needed a mattress. I called them up. They They delivered me a memory foam mattress, and I didn't have to pay a lot of money for it. And it's not just because they're my advertiser, but because I bought it from them before they became my sponsor, because I wanted to sponsor them because of how great people they are on the phone, on the web, at sleeppittsburgh.com. It doesn't make any difference. Okay. Sleep Pittsburgh there's some great people. They have great inventory. They have great prices. You won't have to take out a loan. They're right on 8th Avenue in Homestead. So if you're on your way out to you know where, whose name I'm not going to mention because they don't pay me. All right. And I've got some issues with them as well. So I'm not going to go there today. I don't have time. But anyway, if you're on your way out to you know where, you can also stop by Sleep Pittsburgh on 8th Avenue in Homestead and check out their inventory. Check out their inventory online: day beds, futons. They have lift chairs if you're handicapped like me and you need the lift chair recliner. They have those. They have bunk beds. They have all kinds of bedding and all different types of furniture for your bedroom. Anything you need of that sort, call them today. That number, once again, 412-462-7858, sleeppittsburgh.com. No credit check financing. Sleep Pittsburgh, the best sleep tonight. All right. I want to talk to you also today about Bond Journey. Bond Journey last night had a great show. They were at the Rivers Casino over at the Drum Bar at the Rivers Casino here in Pittsburgh. November 11th, they're going to be in Lakewood, Ohio. If you live in Lakewood, Ohio, or know someone that does, or can find someone that does, go to Lakewood, Ohio, go to the Mercury Lounge. That is where, on November 11th, that is where Bond Journey will be. The best in Bon Jovi and Journey music is Bond Journey. All right, November 18th, 31 Bar in Bridgeville. Head on down there. That's a great place. I hear. I haven't been there yet. I want to go down and talk to Ken Reckett, who's a former Penguin goalie and a very busy man, I'm told. So, all right. Is your business struggling? Is your business okay? Is your business good? Well, why don't you tell me? 412-545-4317. I have sponsorship advertising prices that'll blow your socks off. Not these prices that are so expensive. You get radio, you get podcasts, and you get national, and you get a button advertisement on my website, www.rwmedia.org. 412-545-4317. Call today. Set your business up. Some great sponsorship advertising rates. I got to tell you, and I say this all the time, you don't have to take out a loan. All right. All right. Monday. As you know, every Monday, and I'm going to give you a rundown of what's going on this week with RW Media shows and myself. And so Monday, 7 p.m., live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter platforms. We have the show called The Way We See It. It's now me, Ralph Williams, and my co-host Bill Canada, and we have a lot to talk about this week, including some reports, some things that are going on, and we're going to talk about that as well. And also, it's 7 p.m. every Monday, The Way We See It, live, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and I'm sorry, Twitter X platforms as well. Tuesday, this Tuesday, Sports Corner Radio, Beaver County Radio, 95.3, 99.3 FM, 12:30 a.m. It's WBVP Radio. It's Sports Corner Radio Show with me, Ralph Williams, Smoking Jim Frazier. This week, we're also live on Facebook, so no excuse not to watch or listen. We're also live on YouTube, and we're live on Beaver County Radio's website and on their app, if you have their app in your phone, and also live on www.rwmedia.org. What you do is you go on my website, and you'll see the little icon for Beaver County Radio and Sports Corner. And what you do is you push live, and the show comes right up to you. So it's that simple. All right. But this Tuesday, there's a special 2-hour edition, and we have a basketball summit. I'm gonna have Noah Howes on from uh, the Post Gazette. He's going to talk about Pitt football and basketball. Tad Maury from Duquesne. He's the color guy for Duquesne football and basketball. He's going to come on. He's going to talk about both the football and the basketball team. And I have Jim Elias coming on. And Jim Elias is a former player for Robert Morris. He's going to come on and talk about the basketball team. I try to get a couple. He's working on getting me a football guest as well, and we're going to try to see what we can do with that. We're on 2 hours this Tuesday, 4 to 6, 2 hours. We're going to have open phone line 724-843-1888 or 724-774-1888. I want to hear from you. Also, we'll have our mailbag. We are also going to have our fake Mike Tomlin press conference, Smoking Jim's boxing report, Ralph's rant, Smoking Jim's wisdom. All of the segments will be there this Tuesday, 4 to 6 p.m. Sports Corner Radio, WBVP, FM 99.3 and AM 1230. It's Beaver County Radio. And then on Wednesday nights at 10:30 p.m., I'm on the Sports Web every Wednesday night at 10:30 p.m. with Peter Blake and Mark Mancini. We do a segment called Turnbuckle Talk. That is also on YouTube and Facebook. We also have on Thursdays is the Wrestle Talk show with myself, Ralph Williams, Smoking Jim Frazier, Bubba Brewer, Mark Mancini, live on Blog Talk Radio. To listen to the show, 347-205-9631. That's every Thursday. This week, we're on at 4 o'clock p.m. 4 p.m. Mark's got some scheduling conflicts, and we have to move the show to 4 p.m. 4 p.m. this Thursday for Wrestle Talk all across the country. We got a big audience. And now we almost hit 600 listeners. And you can double that. Let's double that this Thursday. Let's make it 1,000. Okay, let's make this show really go off the wall as far as good wrestling talk, and we're the best in the business. Thursday nights or Thursday afternoon this week, 4 p.m. Wrestle Talk. Bubba Brewer, Mark Mancini, Smoking Jim Frazier, and me, Ralph Williams. Friday, 11 a.m. Is the External Boom podcast, and that's every Friday morning, 11 a.m. Me, Ralph Williams, Mark Mancini, Joe Kuklis from Draft 412, one of my sponsors, and Scott Morganroth from another one of my sponsors, the South Florida Tribune, and my dog Bailey carrying on in here. So there we are. But anyway, that is the schedule for most of the RW Media shows. I appreciate you watching and listening. Call your friend, call your cousin, call somebody, and get in touch with them today and tell them about what's going on with RW Media all across the country, around the world, and also locally here in Pittsburgh. I'm Ralph Williams for Leo Haggerty. Everybody have a great day. Thank you for participating. Thank you. Have a great one. See you next Saturday for Telling It Like It Is. Ralph Williams, Leo Haggerty. Saturday mornings, 10:30 a.m. Have a good one. Enjoy all the college and NFL games this weekend, and be safe.